So I don't really care if you guys are listening. You guys up front are listening. No, I don't give a shit. I don't do slam. I think slam is boring. I do really formalist poetry, so you probably all think that's boring. But oh well.
I don't think it's boring.
Next time, yeah.
We will reserve judgment until afterwards.
That's fine. I'm going to read some poems, and then I'll read the start of an essay. So you can listen or you can't. So, when the ocean stares up and thinks of hair, I would like to tell you about her undying wish for longer gray locks, fiddling in tin crafts that snake and wind and sleep. Her wish was not immune to our entire lives, remaining tethered here, and now the words are here, and they are not pleased. Venture Storeman, 2 words that linger, Venetian Prosecco, and this can never end, because the signs all point to a narrative land with full start, now here the new end. It's the sun and sweat, a lover's dress ruined by apple strudel, cycle slightly tarped but visible in order to ask, oh where now? Oh where was I then, and how do I know now? Human nature is a want for the middle. But what of her invisible tethering hairs? What are the nightly dreams of my ocean? I can ask for her in many forms, but here she is, and a silver-wound badge made of a clamshell's age lines. Oh, my town is full, and this ocean is slim. I will stretch the north over the empty space, just like the biblical sun, and capture her, hanging and betting on the nothing, a landless fervor where the dead are formed into soullessness. And I marvel Melville, researching her rabbles of half-fabulous whales with struggling vapor and the vast new black space that we've known for so long, and all because of a black time where bodies grew above our noses until they sank into the water, into the shore, while children swirled wells with blooms, not to cover the dead, but to disguise the breath of the living. These wells burn into an eternity at County Kildare until the sea reaches St. Bridget's hand, resting in Lisbon, to milk, to beguile, and to make words. It's all that I want. I will wave as the continents realize they will soon swiftly kiss my feet. Dead men be warned, the tides gather size, but the impatient will only garner a little space in her depth. So this one
on my stage.
This one is about Chernobyl. So get ready. It's called RAD, for Leonid Telnaktitov, commander of the firefighters who were first at the scene at the Chernobyl disaster. When you showed up, the 5 roof fires spread quickly and even. Though your brother was born on that same day 37 years before, you smiled and sprayed. Suitless and unprotected, you smiled and sprayed. Unlisted madness, ritual behaviors, blow out the candles after the alarm. And now I wonder if you would be impressed, after releasing a flame, how another strange creature dances in a moonlit and empty countryside where echo is all. The lynx, the lynx, the lynx. Their typical behavior, peeing in a hole, covering the urine, waiting 10 years, and ta-da, a garnet, a gem, a beauty worth an economy. But all of this, the story, the man, the beast, the place, it pales in what is now the largest reserve of life and green, of new births, of unnatural births. Keeper of secrets, protector of unlistened secrets, I'm blessed by your presence, by your smile, by your spray. The payment for progress is not just one soul, but it is not scientific, lest we forget that a city of earth covered by invisible fire still has signs that read, owner of this house lives. Here, where black grass and wormwood meet, where frog bellows are the only nighttime sound, where Chernobylite does not mean a person, but a new mineral of malign green, where the children do not walk or sweat or scream, but screech, crawl, and remain self-contained. A fire, an arrival, an untruth. 31 albino swallows cannot be caught, at least not at once. And so this one, every other word is from a Robert Lowell poem. If you can name the poem, I'll kiss you on the mouth. Yeah, I doubt any of you will though. So. Celeste Bicycle. I wander through rain after 2 months of snow piles like arcs made of dead wood, when a voice says, now, here I am, an elder, a love cord with spent bias and bare fat. Your voice, yourself, you overpowered tales, a connection fit for your spent ill bias. Listening to brawls, I am between day and voice. Where is last year's snow? Where does it go? My body churned. Oh, is every apostrophe a black reservoir? God howls, I must stay, as a chalice of tarnished greenish bronze, fit for only the loss of time. Blistered lip and Atlantic contained far from her. Limitations of distance are falsehoods, because you and your truth should know the difference of unbegotten praise from dead silly kings, or Celeste has no meaning down here. The sky is the sky, oh, the snow is not here, where does the snow go? When I woke up empty, the door was silent, my nervous system only clicking, lonely click here, click where does the clicking, lonely click, lovely click snow go? Robert Lowell, crazy Catholic.
Crazy Catholics.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish the scotch.
Wait, what was it? Edgar Allan Poe? What was the poem?
No, it was Robert Lowell.
The poet was Robert Lowell.
You have to name it.
I was just about to say that.
Oh, the poet. You already told us.
I'm not gonna tell you. If anyone can name it, then I'll kiss you on the mouth. I'm not gonna give you the answer. God. Then I would have to kiss myself in the mouth, and that's physically improbable. All right. Y'all ready to get depressed?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. What starts a cough? The medical science behind the irritation and inflammation is quite simple. Sometimes it is merely accidental. A toast crumb and black tea combining to a sudden stop. Working so hard one forgets to drink enough water. A gasp that overtakes the possibility of breath. Or sometimes it is just simply the body naturally expelling waste that won't leave on its own accord, what doctors actually coin as a productive cough. Meredith was half Irish and Korean, with Kelly green almonds on a small pumpkin-shaped head, which sounds like an insult at first, but she was more like one of those adorable miniature pumpkins you would paint in kindergarten to place in the window. Jack-o'-lanterns actually derive from an Irish folktale about a man named Stingy Jack, who duped the devil into his pocket after convincing the devil to turn himself into a coin so Jack could pay his extensive bar tab in exchange for his soul. Instead, Jack pocketed the coin next to a silver cross, thus containing the devil in his pocket until they mutually agreed that Jack's soul would not go to hell, and the devil would leave Jack alone again for 1 whole year. Where does the pumpkin come from in Halloween lore? Is it because it's a mostly hollow, internal space where spirits or demons or memories can rest for one night before they haunt again the next? Or hunt again the next? Or simply because it was there in the new world, replacing the old symbol of turnips and potatoes or beets with their new hollow friends? Meredith and I bonded over prototypical freshman year events, becoming exhausted with small-town life after 4 weeks, jungle juice, driving to Iowa simply to be in another state, the first party where a boy remembers you from a class and actually talks to you, debates over liking boys versus girls, making out with girls, making out with boys, high school hauntings that were prized from the dead every few months in the drunken stupor. The latter was mostly Meredith, though, as my ghosts were a 12-hour train ride away. But I was always there to bolster her up outside the house, while the rugby team played flip cup and card games until they couldn't lift the cards anymore, or they ran out of beer and the liquor store was closed. It was never one or the other, only when these arrived concurrently. The next year, at the termination of their agreement, Jack somehow duped the devil again into climbing a tree full of apples, quickly carving a cross into the trunk that would prevent the devil from claiming his soul once again for another 10 years. The most common specter that would come to Meredith was a dead baby. Not hers, but from a high school love, Jeremy and her former best friend Liz. For even though Meredith had an overall GPA of 3.89 and came to our university with 22 credit hours already earned from AP, her friends from home came from her neighborhood and not the magnet high school she attended. So Jeremy lived on the street, dealing heroin as his main source of income, with some lighter marijuana and car part sales on the side. Liz actually attended the same magnet school with Meredith, earning similar but slightly shorter grades. Yet they bonded over being the only two girls in the calculus class. She didn't want to come to college, but her mother persuaded her by offering to pay that all scholarships wouldn't cover. The first semester, her balance only came to the cost of textbooks, the tune of $237. She worked at Taco Bell to make the difference and would steal nacho cheese bags for us to leave in people's lockers. The mathematics and science textbooks always hooked your checking account, though. Right by the gums, when the literature classes could be found for $1 at the local resale shop by the basketful, I quickly changed my major. Jeremy stayed in St. Louis, attending to his already present duties and customers, while picking up another duty of illegally aborting a fetus. Soon after Jack tricked the devil, he was hit by a carriage and died. However, he was barred from entering heaven. As per their agreement, the devil would not admit him to hell. Instead, he received a hollowed-out turnip from the devil and a lit piece of coal to help him find his way through the world. Liz was 7 months pregnant in late September. No doctor would perform a third trimester abortion in the state of Missouri, or when they tried the state of Illinois. Time was running out for options that didn't involve coming clean to her parents, her family, her school, where she was still finishing her senior year, her best friend away at school, and the boyfriend they, unknown to the best friend, who had been sharing for the past 8 months. In England, they use red beets instead of the immaculate turnips to keep the unwanted souls. Her bare legs were chalky from the fragments of granite functioning as a parking lot, patterned by the imprints of heavy quartz and limestone that she'd been laying against for 15 minutes, while her voice echoed the phrase, "She got rid of him and I would have loved him. She got rid of him and I would have loved him. I really would have." A crowd of Halloween party attendees looked on as I spread a creaky arm around her, cursing my costume of a California raisin. I was wearing a garbage bag, purple body paint, and thick wool gloves. Fred Durst helped me walk her home, while Tinkerbell promised to sleep outside her room with me and check on her in 3 hours. I held her in my arms, whispering words of comfort, when I remembered how ancient druids would dress in furs on Halloween night and tell each other their fortunes and futures. But here I was with no knowledge, only wishes. I woke up to the crickety hum of fluorescent lights, as every morning they went off at 7 a.m. Tinkerbell had gone to bed, and Meredith's door was propped up by somehow in my drunken stupor, I found a green college-ruled notebook labeled Health. Yet, as the semester went on thawing into the second, Meredith quickly became a fixture of the dorm room commons more than the classroom. I recall her flash of hair, her long, skinny hair, creeping around corners, eternally checking to see if someone dangerous was there, as if there actually could be someone there. Someone aside from herself. I watched her disappear into that hair, always head downturned, with large foam headphones covering her face, keeping her bangs disjointedly curtained. Halloween never felt far away when I ran into her. It always felt like a ghost. Is it annoying to readers or listeners to always be posed with these unanswerable questions? I imagine so, but I imagine how it must feel in a rough draft, as I assure you it's a twofold worse than your animosity. Or worse, to be one of those jacks roaming the world where every window warns you to keep your hollow head at a fair distance.